For anybody wanting to get into racing, just you don't have to have the best stuff to start out, but just get the work ethic down, and
definitely start out going smooth instead of just trying to be fast.
just figure it all out slowly, and you'll get there eventually.
If it's a dream, I definitely would pursue it. If they're iffy about it, I wouldn't dump a whole lot of money into it.
Save your pennies. I mean, it's an expensive sport, and you need all the help you can get. Parents, sponsors, people at the track. This is a great way to make friends, and these are great people to be around. So any help you can get, definitely jump on it.
Just come to the track and start helping somebody out and learn as much as you can, and then it's the best way to get your feet wet, and then maybe somebody will let you drive their car in hot laps one night and get you started.
I did like a quadruple check to make sure I didn't forget anything on the way down. I didn't want to pull another episode of Gas City where I just pretty much forgot all of my equipment. I put out a Facebook poll this morning. I made it up to whoever follows my Facebook page, and an overwhelming amount of people showed up for Paragon. So one thing that I did to make sure I hold myself accountable to actually getting interviews is I put out a poll on Facebook, like I said, to figure out which track I was going to go to. But the kicker was I was looking for volunteers for people that would want to be interviewed. So then I didn't feel like, oh, well, I couldn't find anybody. And do you have any race day rituals that you do?
I do have a couple race day rituals, actually. Every race day I make sure that I go out to lunch with my wife before I go to the race, and on top of that I always pray. As soon as I get strapped into the car, I make sure I say a prayer before I head out on the track. So
I like to do my tear-offs. It might sound stupid, but it calms me a little bit. I get pretty nervous before the first race, before hot laps. After that, I'm good, but I like to do my tear-offs, and that just calms me out.
This is a little bit of a different, oh my gosh, there's a boat in the infield. There is a boat in the infield. So my idea is with the drivers that volunteered, I plan on just asking them, did they have family in racing? What got them to here?
I've been racing for 20 plus years. Started off in go-karts when I was 12 years old. Ran go-karts for about 15 years and moved up to super stock division. This is my first year in a sprint car.
Been racing flat track motorcycles for about 12 years now, up until last season, which was my second year professional. I quit about halfway through the season and started racing sprint cars like what my dad used to do back in the 80s and the 90s.
Growing up, my dad, my uncles, they've raced. I've had my great-grandpa's race before, so it's been in the family my whole life.
Have you always raced these cars?
No, I started out in a bomber, and then I just got into super stocks about 3 years ago.
Yeah, my grandpa started, and then my dads and uncles, and then me and my brother and cousin do now. I've been running for 10 years.
Tell me about what you do Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, pretty much, it's like a second 40-hour job on these things here.
During the week I go to school at Avon High School. I'm a senior. I go half days, and then I go to work at Indy Paint Shop in Brownsburg. Drop my backpack off at the garage door and get to work till about 9 or 10:30. Go in the house, watch some TV, go to sleep.
I go to work from 9 a.m. to about 3, and then I'm in the shop from 3:30 to about 9 o'clock every night. So it's pretty much a full-time job.
Monday through Friday, that's a struggle. I work a full-time job just like everybody else.
I work to support the habit.
Throwing in the hours at work and then coming home and thrashing on this car is definitely tough, but it's well worth it when you're here at the racetrack.
One lesson learned from trying to interview literally like anybody and everybody is knowing what their race schedule is ahead of time. I ran out to the concession stand. There is a concession stand in the pits, by the way, which is great. All of a sudden, the two sprint car drivers that I interviewed are racing. So I got some outside shots, but regardless, I'm a little bit bummed out I wasn't in the infield. Also, there's been 2 flips now. I haven't captured either of them. I'm just off my game tonight, fam. I'm just off my game.
My favorite thing during racing would have to be just
Honestly, racing, that's a joy. It's a dream. It gives you a thrill. But honestly, when a kid comes up to you and gets in your car and has a big grin on his face, because I was that kid at one point, and always want to sit in somebody's car, but that puts the biggest smile on my face more than anything.
being up front and showing that I have talent and that I can do things that these guys with big money can do, and we have a blast. So
everything about racing is just the adrenaline rush you get whenever you go onto the track. It's unlike anything else you can experience, and I wish everybody got to feel that at least once.
first things first, I love these hills. It's like a new vantage point that I've never gotten before. All right, it was a productive night tonight. First time I've been at a track completely alone. There's always been at least like one photographer. Normally I can rely on that other track photographer to post the pictures so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm gonna try to get these for everybody. Just a flat track. Overall, I am very pleased with Paragon. See you later, man. Honestly, it's just really nice to not be shivering right now. That part I'm pretty stoked about. Although, if it weren't for Brian, one of the push truck guys, hooking me up with some bug spray, I think things would have gotten really out of hand. So thanks, Brian. I'm really interested to hear your guys' feedback on some of the driver interviews. I kept them short, kept them sweet. Didn't want to dive into anything too much just because I was mainly just trying to like get the feel for what it's like interviewing somebody in a very go-go environment. Because like when I'm interviewing people for my job, it's like they're sitting down in a nice quiet room and I have all the time in the world to frame it up, but I don't have that here. So I would appreciate any of your feedback. Otherwise, this wraps up episode number 4. Yeah, 4. And I'll see you guys at the next race.